While I did do a video last year wondering if the Suns had finally broken through after a hot start, this year is decidedly different. Coming off an undefeated bubble performance that got them within an inch of the playoffs, they added key upgrades to the roster that has them threatening the balance of power in the Western Conference. So, when I say the Suns are for real this time, I really mean it. Any team that adds a Chris Paul and Jay Crowder is going to be better off in the long run, so it's easy to just point to roster construction, but let's look a little closer into what is happening on the court to explain the Suns' 6-2 start, which has them all by themselves atop the Western Conference above the more heralded Lakers and Clippers. First off, their defense has made a huge jump, and the best place to examine this is defending the pick and roll, where the long arms of Mikal Bridges has been almost a one-man wrecking crew. Monty Williams has decided to put Bridges on the opponent's main threat no matter the position, and you can see how difficult it is to A, screen him, and B, get past him. He's relentless in his pursuit even if the ball screen rubs him off a step or two, and you can see those long arms can cut off driving lanes themselves and disrupt shooters from several feet away. If you get sloppy with the dribble, he's gonna reach down and just take the ball from you right quick. And the hardest thing shooters have to deal with today is the contest from the back and the side of their head. Something he's great at because he can just extend his arm and have it in their airspace with just a little bit of effort. And the drop coverage the Suns have employed enables him to read the ball handlers and steal passes from behind like this, completely disrupting the offense. If you're digging this video, then please hit the like button, leave a comment, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel for even more great NBA content all season long. Another revelation has been the defensive work of DeAndre Ayton, who has become 100% more effective this year, especially in tandem with Bridges. They've been able to contain the pick and roll together, with Ayton managing the roll man and the ball much better than he's ever had to get multiple stops a game. The solution would be to screen Bridges off and force a switch first, but guess what? They've got another elite defender in Chris Paul who can make life miserable for the pick and roll ball handler with his quick hands and perfect positioning. And more evidence of Ayton's improved angles to cut off drives and then defend without fouling. Ayton has made tremendous strides in this area, becoming a bona fide rim protector primarily because he understands better how to move into position by giving the ball handler a little more space higher up in the lane, preventing them from jumping into him and then erasing the shot once they try to get it off in close quarters. If teams try to stay away from Bridges and Ayton, they'll have to contend with CP3 on ball and Crowder guarding a screener, another very effective duo and a nightmare for the defense. Every good defensive player gets beat, a lot, but it's the recovery that allows us to truly evaluate what they bring to the table. Luka makes Ayton look a little foolish, but check the effort by Bridges to cover for him and ultimately contest these shots into another stop for the defense. Wow. Of course, any video on the Suns has to talk about Devin Booker and what he's doing on offense. And the encouraging news is that he played pretty poorly over the first 5 or 6 games, and is just now finding a groove that will make the Suns an even better team. His biggest struggle was with turnovers, which he was throwing away at an alarming rate, twice as high as normal. Most of the issues was on passing out of the pick and roll, a category he'll probably lead the team in terms of usage, and it's possible that the lack of a normal training camp got his calibration off, as evidenced by his inability to handle a little contact, throwing this ball wildly into the stands. Last night's big win over the Raptors saw a marked improvement with only 1 turnover, and here he's making that skip pass to the corner for the open 3. A lot of the skills we see Booker and other top scorers display here have been developed pretty recently, and I had the pleasure to sit down with NBA trainer Drew Hanlon to discuss the latest abilities that players in the league have been mastering. When we would train dribbling in the past, it was like machine gun, as hard as you can, down as, and now we realize when you study the really good ball handlers, they let it float. And I'm wondering if you can give us any other insight into how you're training that so that we can get better at that and maybe figure out other ways to develop that skill.
Yeah, so to me, it all talks about pace. Coaches always preach pace, but the truth is the more that the ball is in your hands, the more likely you can take off at the right moment. And you're also more unpredictable. Another thing that people don't talk about a lot of times is your breath. If you think about it in any sport, let's just talk about strength training first. When you're doing a bench press, what do? You exhale on the push. When you're in a basketball game, there's a defender, and you don't want the defender to know when you're going to take off. And so if you're always pound dribbling and then you immediately let the ball hang because you're getting the ball, your hand behind the ball so you can push it forward, that's an easy tell that you're about to take off. Whereas if you're constantly letting the ball be in the same position where now I can hezzy shoot, I can hezzy explode, or I can even cross over from this position, now it's less predictable.
It's a must watch and is part of my new YouTube membership that you've got to check out. You get custom emojis, early access to my regular videos, you can join exclusive live shows, get access to interviews with beat writers and trainers like Drew, and best of all, join me for private watch parties of certain NBA games, with the ability to join the show and chop it up with me. So click on that join button below and get in on all the bonus content I'm creating, and you'll deepen your understanding of the game, perhaps to the point where Chris Paul is, enabling Devin Booker to get back to a more traditional shooting guard role. One issue is that he's never been an elite three-point shooter, and a lot of it had to do with taking tough shots on bad teams. But that's all over now, and he should be able to just spot up and let some of the others do the heavy lifting to set him up for easy catch and shoots. Here's another quick hitting action where he back screens for Ayton, confusing the defense as Holmes doesn't want to leave a small guarding a big down low, and that opens up the catch and stare down for Booker to do a quick ISO dance before rising up for the three. To prove this play wasn't a fluke, they run it again the next possession, and this time both defenders are so concerned with Ayton down low and CP3's ability to get it to him that Booker finds himself wide open for the easy three. Monty Williams has devised a set for Booker where he starts from the left block and gets a screen from the big man. This gets him enough space to just rise up over the smaller Corey Joseph for the jumper. But usually, this is designed to get him a Kobe touch at the high post with his back to the basket. And while he does turn this positioning into a close-in shot, it's a tough lefty floating layup that misses. Without a lot of movement once he gets the ball at that left elbow and then faces up, it makes it easier for good defenders to cut off angles, and in this case, just slide his feet enough to take the contact and force the turnover. This could also flow into a ball screen for Chris Paul if the pass is denied well, like the Nuggets do, but it's clear once the set is called, it's Booker's world and they're all just living in it. And a sidestep three out top proves too difficult for him. The bottom line, this set hasn't been great for Booker, despite it being the most common thing they run to get him a shot. Here he tries to elevate before throwing the pass to the corner, but it's easily read and stolen at a key moment deep in the fourth of a tight game. And the Jazz were able to force him into a turnover late in this game as he tries to turn over his left shoulder to release the shot, but gets stripped on the way up, leaving the Suns empty-handed. Last night against the Raptors, they ran this set into the pick and roll out top for Chris Paul, which forced a switch and an ISO out top against the smaller Fred VanVleet. On the dribble attack, he almost loses the handle, but not only got control of the ball back, but hit the tough contested bank shot from 15. And this wrinkle allows him to flare out to the wing instead of the elbow. You can see how the defense was prepared for the elbow cut, and he gets a great look but can't get it to fall. The overall offense is currently ranked 10th in offensive rating, and one key is their league-leading corner three-point field goal attempts rank. They're in the top 8 in accuracy from these positions as well, so they're consistently putting themselves in good position to get one of the most coveted shots in the NBA. Here's some Princeton action as Kaminsky dribbles to the wing, which triggers a backdoor cut. The hope is that it lures the corner's defender into helping, and boom, he's got an open look. But it also helps to just fill the corner and then have someone with the vision and passing skills as Chris Paul to just whip a 60-foot strike across the court and into the capable and wide open hands of Jay Crowder. To illustrate the genius that is Chris Paul, look at how he throws this one-handed pass as he realizes Crowder's man is way too far off him one pass away. The one-handed underhand scoop on a laser is exactly what Crowder needed to get an open shot. The biggest key to generating these types of open looks is to get the corner's man to help one pass away, like on this attack on the catch by Cameron Payne. It's absolutely not the help of Josh Hart to get all the way in front of the ball handler. It's such an easy pass to kick to the corner and knock the open shot down. The last key to getting good looks from the corner is the willingness to make one more pass once the defense has been compromised. Booker skips the ball nicely, and Cameron Payne bypasses a semi-open look for a wide-open look in the corner, which drops clean through. Make no doubt about it, The Suns are a team on the rise and have both the roster and the playing style to prove they're no flukes in the bloodbath that is the NBA's Western Conference. They have a whopping 7 guys averaging in double figures. They've got a tight defense and a good coach who can keep this team together. So watch for Devin Booker to have his most efficient year ever and the blossoming into the poster child for a 3-and-D player by Mikal Bridges. And this all means the Suns should maintain their position somewhere at the top of the Western Conference, and a team no one is going to want to play come playoff time. If you like this video, you're going to love my new YouTube membership. There are 3 tiers to choose from, all with tremendous bonus content, including private watch parties. Join me for the next time these two play, and you can come on the show as well. You in?